I only picked it because it looked like something you would like. Not to front load it, but fuck you, movie.
Welcome to Stupid Movies, where we watch them so you don't have to.
That is right. I wish I didn't have to.
Yeah.
And this week we watched Evil Everywhere, 2019, unrated, 64 minutes long. This thing felt way longer than that. Written and directed by Mikey Moratini.
Mikey. So we woke up, looked around, there was evil over there, and up there, and down there, and everywhere! What happened in Evil Everywhere?
Fuck, man. Evil Everywhere is an 80s throwback slasher. Supernatural-esque slasher.
We like 80s throwback, we like 80s horror, we like 80s. What do we like about this movie?
I like that it was an 80s throwback.
Yeah, absolutely. They nailed the aesthetic and the vibe and the tone of it really well.
They really nailed that shot-on film vibe. Like, not just 80s, but it was very specific 80s shot-on film.
Yeah, the visual
Attributes?
Thank you. That's the way. Yeah, the visual attributes was very 80s stylish, and oral. Is that like that's the yeah. They do well with that too because
it looked pretty. It sounded pretty.
It did. Yeah. Along with that 80s look, the score and the soundtrack was really good.
And I will also give it a lot of credit for the kills. The special effects were pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, there was no Tom Savini in this. This was not that Tom Savini 80s level of quality.
No.
But I would put this up against most 80s shot on film movies and say that the special effects were as good, if not better.
Yeah, and pretty much practical, if I remember right.
It appeared to be.
Yeah, I mean, if it wasn't, it was pretty good.
The drumstick in the eye was a really good one.
Yeah,
I like that a lot.
That was probably my favorite one.
Yeah.
That looked pretty
decent.
Pretty convincing.
Yeah.
I mean, that wouldn't feel good.
No, that would probably hurt.
The runtime was short. I like that.
I kind of enjoyed the bad acting, which is a super backhanded compliment because the acting wasn't good.
Yeah, but if it's amusing.
But it was amusing, and it was 80s-esque shot on film acting.
Yeah, that kind of goes with
so
that.
it kind of worked for it, and I kind of enjoyed it. As it's cut to what didn't we like?
I didn't like that it went the supernatural slasher route in this.
Yeah.
I much rather would have preferred just the straight up. Not to say that it was bad. It wasn't what I thought it was going to be. I mean, I expected it to be just a straight up 80s slasher. And it is.
I would have been okay if they had done like the zombie route with it.
Yeah.
Like Zombie Jason.
Right.
Where he's dead, but he's still alive and killing people. We just don't question. That would have been fine with me.
Yeah, not this possession stuff.
I didn't like the possession angle.
I'm not a big fan of that stuff. And I mean, it was fine for what it was. Just not my not my cup of evil.
I had a really, really hard time with the story overall. Like, I am honestly struggling to remember what the movie was about because it was not so much that it was all over the place. It just didn't make sense. Part of it is that we were dropped in the middle of a story. There was this story that happened and we're coming in right in the middle. And that makes it hard to remember. But also, the story itself was just kind of meh. If you have seen 100 80s shot on video slasher movies, this is another one.
Yeah, and a lot of times I don't like all that exposition and backstory. And they didn't spend much time on it here, but this would have been one where that would have been necessary and would have made this better.
Could have been very helpful.
Yes.
Yeah, a little bit of
yeah. I don't know. I feel like there wasn't enough blood and gore. Aside from that drumstick kill, I can't remember any other kill.
Well, there was one where she was staring in the TV and her eyes started bleeding.
Okay, yeah.
That was more of like a 70s throwback kill, but still.
Yeah, so, I mean, more impactful, maybe. Right. More rememberable kill. Is that a word?
Memorable?
Thank you. More memorable kills would have been nice. Because I don't remember 80% of them.
I think that's going to be the biggest takeaway of this movie, is it's just kind of forgettable. I feel bad saying that, but it's like, this is just another... They could have done some really cool things with it. Doing the shot on video 80s homage, you could have had a lot of fun with that. And it was just kind of like, well, This is less an homage and just another 80s shot-on-video movie that just happened to come out in 2019 instead.
Some of the sound was a little too loud.
Yeah.
When it came to the music and stuff and the score. Kind of overpowered some stuff at times.
Dialogue, maybe.
Dialogue, yeah. And that can be pretty off-putting and distracting. Yeah. You know, it's indie, it's low budget, but still, some of it's like, how did nobody notice that? I found the movie pretty boring, to be honest with you.
When I saw it was only 64 minutes, I was honestly shocked because it felt like a 2-hour movie.
It did. It really drags on. And when when stuff happens, it's just kind of, okay.
At the end of the day, this movie is a perfectly fine 80s shot-on-video slasher that is completely forgettable. There's nothing bad about it. You know, it's not like we're saying, oh, this was bad and this was terrible. There's really nothing wrong with it. There's some room for improvement. But at the end of the day, it's just forgettable. It's fine. It's not great by any stretch, but it's good. It's not bad. I do feel like they made a big misstep by having this whole story that we're not given. There's this whole other movie that happened first that they probably know everything that happened in that, but we don't. And I think that's a huge misstep. For the fact that it felt longer than it really was by a lot. And I honestly don't remember much of this, even though I watched it twice. I'm going to give it a 3 out of 8. What they did well, they did very well. And it's just the stuff they didn't do well was aggravating.
It's not horrible. You know, we've seen considerably worse. But it's incredibly forgettable. Like, I don't remember over 75% of this movie. But I love the 80s aesthetic. They did a really good job making it look like the 80s and sound like the 80s. They didn't overdo it like some do with the, the crackling screen and stuff. A little bit, and it worked. It was boring. Took way too long to get through an hour, which is crap. Don't like that. But it's very average at best. I wouldn't say it's not one to avoid, but it's not one to hunt down either. Anyway, so yeah, I'm kind of with you on that. I'm just going to go a smidge higher. I'm just going to say 3.5 out of 8, just because they nailed the 80s stuff really well.
No, I think we just made the tagline for this movie.
Did we?
Evil everywhere. It's fine.
Have you seen Evil Anywhere?
Everywhere.
Everywhere. Have you seen this forgettable movie? Let us know if you remember seeing it. If you have, don't forget to let us know.
Don't forget to like, comment,
Yeah, hit that red
subscribe.
button or whatever it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what all those other people say? Do exactly that.
Do that with us, too. You can check us out on Instagram at StoopidMovies, at Dr. Sketch Turner, at The Horror Punk. You can check us over at Facebook.com/StoopidMovies, at StoopidMovies@Outlook.com. That's how you can get in touch with us. Hey, before we go, though, send Rob pictures of your penis everywhere.
No.
He's starting a collection.
No, I am not. This sounds like a horrible recommendation for people to do.
I think it's a great idea. Penis everywhere.
Well, not. I don't want to see it. Well, we like evil, and we like we like 80s nostalgia.
Okay, I'll give you that.
80s horror.
Because I don't like evil or everywhere.
No.
I barely like anywhere.
I hate everything.